Hi, Bob from the Two Old Guys Garage and the Anglia Project. It's July 1st, 2024. This is part 4 of the clutch throwout bearing redo on my 32 Coupe. This is segment 1. And I'm going to start by playing catch up because I'm not getting very much done. This morning I persevered and I got the bronze pilot bushing out of the end of the crankshaft. It was a hell of a job. The Harbor Freight pilot bushing tool that I bought is useless. These pieces were at an angle. This is way up here, so when you tighten these up and you put tension on it, it would ride up on the angled bevel of the two hooks, as well as these were sticking out and you couldn't get them that far out. And as you can see, I messed around with them and modified them, but it still didn't work. So what I ended up doing was taking a die grinder and carbide bits. This is the bushing, and you can see how I went through and opened it up to where I was able to get loose snap-on tool in there. And with all that material removed, a couple of slight taps on the sliding hammer and it came right out finally. So that's good. So next plan is to continue working in the clutch area, and that involves sanding and cleaning the surface of the flywheel, cleaning the block and that greasy crap you see there. And when that's all clean and prepared, I will put the bearing that replaces the bushing in the freezer in a baggie. That's this guy right here. And what I did was the tool that we had made to try the hydraulic push to get the pilot bushing out wasn't going to work because the pilot bushing was too worn and the grease was coming out the side. But didn't go to waste. I don't know where it is, but oh, here it is right here. Ended up cutting it off on the end, and this will be the drift to put the bearing in. So no great loss without some gain, as they say. So in the meantime, what the weather being as it is, which is called hot, the garage just does not cool off at night. It cools down to about 88 at night, but garage stayed. I come out this morning and the garage was at 91. So I pushed through and took that bushing out, and then had to go in and hydrate back up with a bunch of water and stuff. But anyway, so what's going on? I've been collecting parts. This is the 4-foot connection line. I was in the process of taking one of the spare existing clutch master cylinders, cleaning it up, putting a kit in, cleaning all the .5 out of it, and putting it together with .3, and then actually running a test on the bench to determine how the existing 1-inch bore master cylinder would work the new slave cylinder. But in the meantime, I collected a bunch of specifications on this, the distance and so on and so forth. My plan B was, if my existing master cylinder, the 1-inch bore, didn't work right, I would convert it to a 3/4. And then I made a decision yesterday to say, well, stop fooling around with that, just go for it. I found a Wilwood cylinder, 3/4 inch, that basically mounts the similar way through these side bolts as the other one, which would facilitate an easy adaptation to the existing frame mounts where the clutch master cylinder that is in there is now. So, other problems associated, collecting parts. The push rod on the Wilwood is a 5/16, as you can see there. The existing one is a 3/8, so we have to make a new push rod, a new lock, a new clevis, and all that type of stuff. So, not to mention all the trouble I went through getting an AN4 adapter for my master cylinder is worthless. And now I've ordered and expect to receive today an AN4 to a 1/8 27 NPT, which is the output of the Wilwood, right? Oops, right there. So, let's see. Oh yeah, the clutch disc, the new clutch disc came in. That's it there. It's a Sachs manufactured, which I think is a German, sounds like a German. And there's my old one there. I did clean this off pretty good. Doesn't look pretty, but it's clean. I have yet to get to the taking apart and cleaning and assembling the shift linkage. I think at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to proceed on the flywheel part, get this all taken care of. And by the way, there's the existing 3/8 inch push rod in clevis, which takes a 5/16 hole, and you can see there I got a AN high steel bolt in there instead of a pin, so I've got to redo up to that pin point, and I've got a 5/16 threaded clevis with a 5/16 hole coming, but not until later this week or even next week. So in the meantime, I'm going to clean the flywheel, get that all clean, and then I'm going to assemble the pressure plate and the new clutch disc. And of course, prior to that, I'll be doing the trick with the special lube, or whatever the hell it is. As you can see, I keep a very clean bench. Yeah, this is the special spline lube. I'll be treating that. Oh, and also when I put the pressure plate back, I'm going to use the ARP special pressure plate bolts, which you can see have a shoulder on them. The bolts I took out were new when I did it in '71, but they're stainless steel, all threads, no shoulder, excuse me. Anyway, that's the plan. Hopefully I'll stick to it. Meantime, it's getting hot already here. Oh, I do have, on the Anglia project, I do have Part 29, Segment 1, taken the 27th of June, which is in the can, and that shows that we in fact got the doors, but there's another problem. Oh boy, another problem, right? Anyway, so tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, our friend Jim, who has the green street Anglia, which was in one of our earlier things, is going to show up at Lou's garage, and we're going to take some comparison measurements to Lou's doors to the new doors that we got, and see, kind of try to figure out what's going on. So, and when that happens, I'll be filming it tomorrow morning as Part 29, Segment 2, and I'll probably publish it later that day so you can see what's happening. So I think I got it all covered so far. My clean workbench. Okay, that I think is it. I'm gonna thank you for sticking with us despite these delays. So everybody take care out there. This is Bob signing off. Catch you all later. Bye-bye. Hello. This is Bob from the Two Old Guys Garage, Anglia project. It is July 3rd, and this is part 4 of the coupe hydraulic clutch redo segment 2. Came out this morning, and of course it was still hot, but seemed cool at 90 degrees. And I'm looking, and it's already up to 94. Anyway, I got some time in. What I ended up doing is, as I said in the last segment, I got that pilot bushing out finally. So I ended up this morning working on, excuse me, cleaning the flywheel up and checking dimensions and stuff for where the new pilot bearing is going to go. Block sand the surface of the flywheel with 400 sandpaper to get the discoloration off. Flywheel is pretty much flat. I mean, there's a few minimum striations that should not pose a problem. I noticed that up in the corner there's a machine blue die and 3 dots for an alignment for balance purposes, and I would not have used blue dye before I placed a mark there. I had marked, again, new marks, not realizing that it was already marked. I kind of suspect that when my friend Jim took the pressure plate and stuff down to Hayes to be reworked, that he actually took the flywheel, and the flywheel was resurfaced, and Hayes balanced it as a pressure plate and a flywheel, and he was the one that put those 3 dots on the surface over there using the blue dye to make them stand out. At any rate, that's about ready to go. The next thing here will be to clean that grease junk crap off and clean the surface of the bolts where the bell housing goes on, and of course clean the bell housing on the other half. In the meantime, I reported in the last segment that I had the Wilwood master cylinder for the clutch, and I did get the AN4 to 1/8 NPT adapter that goes here, which is this guy, and I went to check the fit, and it turned out that this guy, the male side, was oversized, and quite possibly the female hang on a second, I'm gonna pause for a minute. All right, I'm back. Anyway, I was reluctant to mess with this because it's aluminum and it's a brand new part, not cheap. What I did do is I took a 1/8 NPT die, and you can see that I cleaned the zinc plating off of the steel, and it's got somewhat of a taper to it that was not obvious before if it even had one. And the black mark you see is when I screw it now into the master cylinder, excuse me, and make a mark. I think I got enough threads that it should be all right. Anyway, that takes care of that issue, minor issue, but it's done. Still waiting on the 5/16 threaded 5/16 pin clevis, which might be here as early as Friday, but unlikely. It'll probably come next week. So, let's see, what else? Oh yeah, I worked on the pressure plate too this morning. Took alcohol and rag and I degreased everything, and took 400 and cleaned the surface up. You can't tell by looking at it, but it is very smooth, as is the flywheel. And yeah, here's the 3 matching dots to the marks on the flywheel. So, and it's a Borgenbeck looks like a 1402 model. Anyway, just from my history files. Borrowed these from Lou yesterday when we were overdoing the fender video. These are cool. These allow you to center punch through an object to get the center punch in the right hole. So I'll be using the 5/16 one when I go to mount the new master cylinder. This will be clamped to the frame, and then the 5/16 center punch will tell me where to drill the new holes for that, because the old holes are not going to fit. All right, with that, I think I've about covered everything up to date. It was 90 degrees this morning. I think I already said this, but it wasn't that bad. Didn't seem that bad, but it's catching up now. So with that, I'll bid you goodbye, and I think I'll go ahead and publish this too. I'll put this out later this afternoon. So that's it. Still working on it. Take care, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.